Emilio Aguinaldo was the first president of the Philippines' First Republic, also known as the Malolos Republic. He was inaugurated on January 23, 1899, at the Barasoin Church, Malolos, Bulacan. He led the proclamation of the Philippine independence on June 12, 1898, in his ancestral home in Kawit, Cavite. Manuel L. Quezon was the second president of the Philippines and the first president of the Philippine Commonwealth established under the USA. He was inaugurated on December 30, 1941, in Corregidor Island. He's known as the father of national language, Ama ng Wikang Pambansa. He died of tuberculosis in Saranac Lake, New York. Jose P. Laurel was the third president of the Philippines and the president of the Second Philippine Republic. His inauguration was on October 14, 1943, in the Legislative Building, now National Museum. He served President of the Philippines during the Japanese occupation during World War II. Sergio Osmina Sr. was the fourth President of the Philippines and the second President of the Commonwealth. He was inaugurated on August 1, 1944, in Washington, D.C. He succeeded the presidency after the death of then-President Manuel L. Quezon. During his administration, the Philippines joined the International Monetary Fund. Manuel Rojas was the fifth President of the Philippines, the third and last President under the Commonwealth, and the first President of the Third Republic of the Philippines. He was inaugurated on May 28, 1946, at the National Museum building. He held office for only 1 year, 10 months, and 18 days. Elpidio Quirino was the sixth President of the Philippines and the second President of the Third Republic. He succeeded presidency after incumbent President Manuel Rojas died in 1948. Quirino was 57 years old when he was inaugurated as president on April 17, 1948, at the Malacanang Palace. Ramon Magsaysay was the seventh President of the Philippines and the third President of the Third Republic. He was the first president who sworn into the office wearing Barong Tagalog during the inauguration. He died in an aircraft disaster while boarding the presidential plane. Carlos P. Garcia is the eighth president of the Philippines and fourth president of the Third Republic. This Bohol native was a lawyer, poet, and professor and served as a guerrilla leader during the Pacific War. Garcia served as vice president under Ramon Magsaysay and as secretary of foreign affairs for 4 years. He became president when Magsaysay died in a plane crash in 1957. Diosdado P Makapico was the ninth president of the Philippines. He was a lawyer and economist, born in Lubao, Pampanga. He was inaugurated on December 30, 1961, at the Quirino Grandstand. His daughter, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, followed his path and became president, too. Ferdinand Marcos was the 10th president of the Philippines and the last president of the Third Republic. He was one of the most controversial leaders of the 20th century. He ruled the Philippines for 21 years and was removed from office after the People Power Revolution. Corazon Aquino was the first woman president of the Philippines and the first woman to become president of an Asian country. She was the 11th president and a democracy icon, one of the 100 women who shaped world history and 20 most influential Asians of the 20th century. Fidel Ramos is the 12th president of the Philippines and the oldest living former presidents of the country. FVR is now 92 years old. He's one of the most admired presidents because, during his presidency, he restored economic growth and stability in the country. Joseph Estrada is the 13th president of the Philippines and the first film actor to become a president in the country. During his years in office, economic growth was slow, and he faced impeachment proceedings. He became the first president in Asia to be impeached from an executive role. He was ousted from the presidency in 2001. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo is the 14th president of the Philippines, the second female president, and the first Filipino president whose parent was a former president. She's also an economist like her father, ex-President Diosdado Macapico. Having a master's degree and doctorate in economics, Gloria put the Philippine economy back in shape. Benigno Aquino III was the 15th president of the Philippines. He was the first bachelor president. A son of ex-President Corazon Aquino, he was also called as Noynoy or Pinoy. Noynoy finished his economics degree from Ateneo de Manila University. He was one of the students of a former economics professor, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, the president before him. Rodrigo Roa Duterte is the 16th president of the Philippines. He's one of the most loved presidents. He's earned a massive fanbase after transforming one of the most dangerous cities, Davao, into one of the world's safest when he was a mayor. At age 71, he became the oldest Filipino ever elected to the presidency.